Yes, please, while we remain standing, we will take the national anthem and the Federal University Lokoja anthem. The national anthem, please. Bringing from the east, you that we stand as shining beacons in love, in truth and in your foundation for the FUL. Use differently, always ahead. FUL. Build differently, always ahead. School officers of the university, distinguished special public lecturer and her amiable husband, distinguished members of the University Senate, provosts, deans, directors, heads of departments and units, very senior administrators, esteemed guests and friends and family members of our lecturer, members of the university community, members of the fourth estate of the realm, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure, very distinct pleasure, to welcome each and every one of us to the special public lecture titled From Campus to Career, Designing the Future You Want, that will be presented this morning by our own delightful Eugenia Abu. I thought you will put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. I will now invite to get us started this morning with his welcome address, the Vice Chancellor of our dear university. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause as Professor Benka Solomon comes to the microphone.
Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, the Registrar, the Bursar, the University Librarian, Provost of Colleges and Deans of Faculties, the Director, Directorate of Advancement and Linkages, Professor Abel Joseph, Heads of Departments, our esteemed professors, members of staff, both academic and non-teaching, our students, particularly our students in the Department of Mass Communication. Are you here?
All right.
Other invited guests and professionals in the house, distinguished members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this special public lecture, the first in my administration, convened by the Directorate of Advancement and Linkages. I welcome in particular our guest lecturer, a woman I am about to embarrass a little, and I hope she will forgive me for it. Let me take you back before I bring you forward. There was a time for people of my generation when the day did not properly end until after the NTA 9 o'clock news. And refusing to watch it was practically an act of civil disobedience in most Nigerian homes. Whatever you were doing, everyone gathered in the parlor. 9 o'clock, silenced everybody. That was the discipline that voice commanded. And what voices they were? Sienna Olwe Brown, Ronke Ayuba, Yinka Craig, Ruth Benemesia, later Opia, names that did not simply read the news, they anchored a nation's evening. They carried themselves like the news itself depended on their posture. And quite frankly, it did. I dare say some of us learned proper English diction from that 9 o'clock bulletin than from our secondary school teachers. And I will not name which teachers. Some of them are here, maybe. Into that generation of anchors worked another generation. Eugenia Abu, Siris Toba, Fatima Abbas Hassan, Tokumbo Ajayi. They did not merely take over from that lineage, ladies and gentlemen. They raised the bar, and then, out of what I can only call professional mischief, Mrs. Eugenia Abu raised it again. I have watched her over the years, and I must say it plainly on this podium, without fear of contradiction, Madam, you have outshone them all with grace and poise. Now, let me confess something. Since we are already in a confessing mood, I too once flirted with that world. I cut my teeth at NTA Abeokuta during my youth service, full of ambition, a microphone, and paper in one hand, and I imagine a rather inflated sense of my own broadcast voice in the other. Later, when one of the ASU strikes threw us into that peculiar academic limbo, I found my way back to the studios at DBN and MITV, thinking perhaps that the media had been waiting for me all along. It had not, unfortunately. I discovered rather quickly and rather mercifully that the camera and I had reached a mutual unspoken agreement to see other people. And so I returned to the lecture hall, where I have remained ever since. I share this as a principle I want our students in this hall to take seriously today. Every man to his talent. The world does not reward those who chase every open door. It rewards those who for them. And what is our lecturer found her door. She has since spent a broadcasting and media career proving that talent, discipline, and clarity of purpose can carry a person from a campus somewhere to a career that spans decades, screens, and now generations of viewers who never knew a word before her. That, ladies and gentlemen, is precisely why she is standing before you today, and precisely why the theme could not have been better chosen: from campus to career, designing the future you want. I can think of no more credible a witness to that theme than a woman who has quite literally lived it. From a young broadcaster finding her voice to a name Nigerian households built their evenings around. To our students, and I say this directly to our mass communication students in the house today, listen closely. You are not merely attending a lecture. You are receiving a masterclass from someone who did not wait for a career to arrive, but designed one deliberately. To our guest lecturer, welcome again to Federal University Lokoja. We do not extend this invitation lightly, and we do not expect you to disappoint us. You never have. Ladies and gentlemen, please give your full and undivided attention to Mrs. Eugenia Abu, CEO, Managing Partner, the Eugenia Abu Media. We await, with considerable anticipation, the radiance of this delivery. Madam, you're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can make the ovation even louder for the Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much. From all the names mentioned, my Vice Chancellor said you have shown them all with grace and pride, and he called it the profession with chief. The Vice Chancellor it's my pleasure. Respectfully invite the Director of Advancement and Linkages, Professor Abel Joseph, who has a few things to say before we get to know and meet our guest lecturer. Please a round of applause as he comes to the microphone, please.
Thank you, Dan. The Vice Chancellor, sir, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, the registrar, the bursar, the librarian, distinguished members of Senate, deans, directors, heads of departments, our special speaker, the very gracious Mrs. Eugenia Abu, staff, students, our on behalf of the Directorate of Advancement and Linkages, to welcome you to this very important lecture. First, I wish to express our sincere gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Benga Solomon Ebileye. Sir, thank you for your prompt approval and support for this lecture. Your belief that our students must be exposed to voices of excellence beyond the classroom is what made today possible. We are grateful for the leadership that prioritizes students' development, staff welfare, visibility, and relevance. To our guest speaker, Mrs. Eugenia Abu, Ma, we are deeply honored by your presence. Thank you for your gracious acceptance of our invitation. We know your schedule is quite demanding, and the fact that you said yes to our students speaks volumes about your commitment to nurturing the next generation. Mrs. Abu is a veteran broadcaster, author, and the voice of authority on communication, media, and national discourse. For our students to sit under your teaching today is, in itself, a career lesson that access, excellence, and exposure matter. I'd like to say that beyond all this, Mrs. Eugenia Abu is a deeply passionate and committed, family-oriented human being. I say this with all sense of responsibility because I've had more than a first-hand experience with her. The first time she graciously received us in Abuja, we spoke for about 20 minutes, and I can tell you that within those 20 minutes, he mentioned her family 18 times. And out of the 18 times, 10 of them, or those times, were about her husband, Mr. Abu, who is presently seated with her today. Thank you, sir, for your support. Thank you for allowing us to have a taste of Mrs. Eugenia Abu. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic before us, campus to career, designing the future you want, could not be more timelier. Many of our students are doing the hard work of lectures, tests, and assignments. But the question that keeps many awake at night is, what happens after graduation? Will my degree translate to a job? Will my skills be relevant? How do I design a life? Not just find a job. For me, and I think for all the students as well, this lecture is important for 3 reasons. 1, clarity. This lecture will help our students move from vague ambition to intentional design. Campus is not a waiting room. It is a workshop. Number 2, competence beyond CGPA. In today's world, your network, your communication, your personal brand, and your ability to adapt will open doors that your certificate alone cannot. Number 3, courage. To hear from a woman who has built a career across media, public service, and authorship is to see proof that a future can be designed, not just inherited. To our students listening actively, take notes. Ask questions during the Q&A. The room you are in today is a link. The person you hear today is a bridge. Cross it. Finally, this event reflects the mandate the Directorate of Advancement and Linkages to build bridges for this university, bridges to industry, to alumni, to media, and to the world. We are committed to raising the visibility of this university by bringing more voices of excellence to our campus. Because when our students see what is possible, they begin to believe what is possible for themselves. When the world sees the quality of our minds, of the minds we are producing here in the university's name goes further. This is in line with the Vice Chancellor's Vision Plan 2026-2031 for Federal University Lokoja, and we are committed, sir, to stand on that mandate. To our esteemed guest lecturer, Mrs. Eugenia Abu, thank you again for lending us your time and wisdom. Vice Chancellor, sir, thank you for enabling an enabling environment. Students, I plead with you, make the most of this moment. On this note, it is my pleasure to welcome you all once again. Thank you, and God bless Federal University Lokoja.
Thank you very much. You can clap some more. Prof has told us this morning that the campus is not a waiting room. As a matter of fact, the only room available here is the hall wherein you are seated. And he has told us it is a link. And the person you are today is a bridge, and you must cross it. The woman to whom you will be listening will be your greatest inspiration. And we're looking forward to an amazing time. And to let us know whom we will be meeting in a moment, let me invite to the microphone the Directorate of Strategic Communication and Corporate Documentation, Dr. Tosin Lokoja. Please tell us about the lecture, sir.
The Vice Chancellor, sir, with your kind permission, may I invite Mrs. Eugenia Abu to step forward, stand, and remain standing as I take her citation. There are voices that simply deliver news, and there are voices that become part of a nation's history. For more than 3 decades, the voice of Eugenia Abu informed, inspired, reassured, and connected millions of Nigerians. Through moments of triumph and tragedy, celebration and uncertainty, she became one of the most trusted and recognizable faces in Nigerian broadcasting. Distinguished broadcast journalist, accomplished media strategist, author, columnist, and communication consultant, Eugenia Abu stands as an enduring symbol of professionalism, integrity, and excellence in the Nigerian media landscape. Yes, you can do better than that. Her remarkable career with the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, spanned an impressive 34 years, during which she rose through the ranks by dint of hard work, competence, and exemplary service. For 17 unforgettable years, she anchored the flagship NTA network news, becoming a familiar and reassuring presence in homes across the nation. She culminated her illustrious public service career as Executive Director, Programs, retiring at the very peak of professional accomplishment. Yes, her exceptional contributions to journalism have earned her numerous honors, including the highly coveted Nigeria Media Merit Award, NMMA, Best Newscaster of the Year Award in 1995. Man, that was the time I entered. That was the time I wrote my WAEC. One of the nation's most prestigious recognitions for media excellence. Yet, beyond the awards, her greatest legacy lies in the confidence she inspired in generations of viewers and the high standards she set for ethical, credible, and impactful journalism. Eugenia Abu's influence extends far beyond the newsroom. Respective media consultant and development communication expert, she has provided strategic communication services to leading national and international organizations, including UN Women, the International Labour Organization, ILO, ECOWAS, the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, and Trust TV, among others. Her expertise continues to shape conversations on governance, development, public policy, and media professionalism. Her commitment to education and institutional development is equally remarkable. She serves as a visiting consultant at Bingham University and as a council member of Veritas University. She is also a member of the National Media Complaints Commission, a board member of the Savannah Center for Diplomacy, Democracy, and Development. And yes, you can do better than that. And a distinguished judge for both the National Multina Teacher of the Year Award and the UFAB Media Award, where she contributes a wealth of experience to promoting excellence in education and journalism. An eloquent moderator, master of ceremonies, and facilitator of international repute, Eugenia Abu has presided over some of Nigeria's most significant state occasions. She served as compere during the inauguration of President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Yes. Anchored the inaugural dinner of President Muhammadu Buhari and more recently moderated the 2023 presidential inauguration lecture and anchored the presidential inaugural ball held in honor of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Her grace, poise, command of language, and impeccable professionalism have made her the preferred choice for high-profile national and international events. Today, as the managing partner and chief executive officer of the Eugenia Abu Media, she continues to mentor aspiring communicators, provide strategic media solutions, ethical journalism, and inspire a new generation of media professionals to pursue excellence with courage, integrity, and purpose. Eugenia Abu's journey is a compelling testimony to the power of diligence, discipline, intellect, and unwavering commitment to truth. She has not merely reported history, she has become an integral part of Nigeria's media history. Her life and career remain an enduring inspiration to journalists, communicators, public servants, and all who believe in the transformative power of responsible media. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with profound honor and immense admiration that we celebrate an iconic broadcaster, an exceptional communicator, a distinguished media strategist, and one of the Nigeria's finest ambassadors of journalistic excellence, who is to deliver this special lecture as organized by the Directorate of Advancement and Linkages, Federal University, Lokoja, Mrs. Eugenia.
Thank you very much indeed. Great Nigeria students, greatest Nigeria students, I salute you. You are the most important persons in the room today. I'm truly honored. I am absolutely delighted to be here, very much so. I would like to start by thanking the Vice Chancellor, Professor Benga Solomon Ibileye, for his candor, his forthrightness, and for extending this invitation to me. I thank you. I'd like to put on record the fact that he has two of his deputy vice chancellors with him today. I greet you. I welcome you both. I'd like to welcome the registrar and the school's librarian and the boss's representative, I want to believe. I welcome you all. Management of Federal University, Lokoja, I thank you for this opportunity to be standing before you today and making the comments I'd like to make. I'd like to greet my cousin who is here with us, Honorable Justice Suleiman Abdullahi. I welcome you. The son of the first Grand Cadi of Kogi State. Honorable, my uncle, Honorable Justice Ustaz Abdallah, usually known as the Sheikh, one of my favorite uncles who was very fond of me. He's not with us, but I have his son, one of my finest cousins here with us today. I thank you. I have my husband. You've heard so much about him. When they send me invitations, I say I don't go anywhere without my husband, because without, yes. After 43 years, who should I be going everywhere with? And, you know, he supports me. And like I said yesterday, I advise young girls and young men, please marry your friend who will support you. I greet my in-laws. They are all here, community leaders of our local government and our clan, the Atabaka community. I greet them and I thank them for coming. I would like to invite, with the permission of the Vice Chancellor, my brother-in-law, Mr. Shehu Abu, to please come forward and sit with the Justice. Where's Shehu? Please come forward, wherever you are in the room, if you are here. Thank you. I'd also like to greet my other cousins who are here. The Justice is from my mother's side. My cousins from my father's side, led by Bernard of Dangote Simet. Mr. Bernard, where are you? He's here. somewhere in the room. I would like you to please come forward. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'd like to greet everyone who is here. I would like to put on record my team lead, my executive assistant, Mr. David Odenride, who is here with us today. I heard the Vice Chancellor when he said, you know what? You don't chase every door. It's not every door that is meant for you. Sometimes you are knocking on a door that doesn't open. That door wasn't meant for you. So he joined broadcasting and then he left it and joined the academia. I joined broadcasting and I'm struggling to get into the academia. You see, that is life. That is life indeed. I'm absolutely very delighted to be here today. I'm pleased because, honestly speaking, it is difficult to be wearing this robe while I'm still pursuing my PhD, but the university has deemed it fit that I'm robed up, and I'm very pleased. I want to salute security agencies in our midst, Civil Defense and the Nigerian Army. Thank you. I'd like to start this lecture by talking about discipline, disruptiveness, and making yourself a spectacle in a university setting. When you are a student, you're expected to conduct yourself because nobody will give you a degree if you don't have character and learning. You may be the #1 student with a distinction. If you are very rude, if you are very disruptive, if you are burning down property of the university, you will not graduate, I assure you. I'll give you 2 examples. I had a very, very dear friend who was a student activist. And in the process, he crossed the line. They rusticated him and he could never get into any other university in the country. Very sad. A very brilliant young man. He didn't finish with us. We had another classmate, female. She used to come to class wearing knicker with a cigarette hanging on her mouth, and she will be late by 1 hour. And she will enter the class and damn the consequences. And she wouldn't care whether the lecturer was there. How can you be a representative of your university if you don't have character and learning? And character is big. In today's world that everything is falling apart, your character will shine through. Your behavior, your respect, your deployment of your values. Those are the things people would remember you for. People are not going to remember you for other things. I don't know if my eye is deceiving me. Is my brother Francis Duru in the room? Okay, he's not. Okay, so if Francis is not, I thought I saw him as I walked in. So I would like to say that your character matters. And I would like to salute very specially Professor Abel Joseph. Who is in charge of linkages. Professor Abel Joseph spent several weeks trying to catch my attention. After some time, he got David's number, and then he will be calling David, where's your madam? Can she come? I couldn't confirm on time because my schedule was running into water, but I cannot tell you how happy I am to be in your presence today. I'm very, very happy. The protocol director who received me yesterday and placed me nicely in my room, and of course, the director of strategic communication, both of whom have been instrumental to my comfort here. I thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So it's important for us to remember that discipline is part of what you are creating for your future. I never arrive at any meeting late. If I'm calling the meeting, I arrive nearly 20 minutes to the meeting. If I'm not calling the meeting and I'm attending, I make my way. You see, the excuse we make that, oh, there was traffic, is not a good excuse. You know where you are going if it has traffic. You already know. You build the time of traffic into your time. When you see me at work in the FCT or at any MC at all, I arrive 2 hours before. I'm there with people arranging chair, but it's better for your peace of mind to arrive on time. If the president is involved, especially if I'm going to interview the president at the villa, I arrive 4 hours before. Anything can happen at the villa gate. And then you can't enter. Then they say, where is our moderator? Then you are lost in traffic. Students, take it on board. The discipline of time will already build your future when you adapt it today, so it becomes part of your DNA. This nonsense we hear of African time is nonsense, because our elders used to go to the farm. And when they are going to the farm, they go to the farm at the crack of dawn. When the sun is rising, they know what time it is. They're heading for the farm. Otherwise, we won't have food. And they didn't have clocks, but they were we wait 2 hours before the event. You think that German is not writing letters to her country to say we are not good people, we arrive late to everything. So if you are responsible for something, try to keep the time. It's a big discipline. Quote, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill, British Prime Minister, the courage to continue counts. It is not about success. It's not final. It is not about failure. It is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. The second quote, the only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Franklin Roosevelt, an American president, our doubts of today. And when Professor Abel talked about courage, the courage to become, the courage to connect, the relationships you build, they're important. If you saw at my birthday party, you saw the people who are there. There's a gentleman called Professor Ibrahim Gambari, Chief of Staff to President Buhari. He was my teacher at the university. And when I turned 60, because I had stayed in touch with him, he went to the UN. He became Minister of Foreign Affairs. He sent me a text message to say, I hear you are becoming 60. You don't want your daddy to come to the event. I quickly dispatched an invitation card. If I had not kept my relationship with him, will he reach out to me? When Professor Abel says it's not just about the university, it's the connections you make. It's your courage to stand apart, your ability to shine when everybody is going down. I think it is important that you remember that. Dreams are extremely important. You can't do it unless you imagine it. A quote by George Lucas. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. Albert Einstein. A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. Albert Einstein went on to become famous and left such a huge legacy. You all know that it is important to leave a legacy. The time starts now. It's not when you are older, it's when you are a student that you start to build your legacy. I would like us to take the moment to talk about yesterday's event and the students of theater arts who had the command performance for me, the director of that command performance. Doctor, are you in the room? The director of the command performance who took his time, and the vice chancellor enabled it. I was so overwhelmed when that command performance was going on yesterday. Students of theater arts, please show yourselves by a raise of the hand. Are they here? I can see them. I want to congratulate them for their performance yesterday. They were outstanding. Being outstanding starts now. My paper is From Campus to Career, Designing the Future You Want. Before we start, I want to make mention of the fact that Professor Ibile was dancing with his students yesterday. When the drama ended and they started saying, greeting him, saluting him, he joined them to dance. I took a look at the vice chancellor and I said, this is a man to watch. He is one of you. He has shown it already, and I believe that this would continue. A vice chancellor who makes his issues student-centric is my person, becomes my personal person. I would like us to begin with a quote from George Santayana. It is those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana, 1905. I am a great traveler, and I traveled to Ghana. And I went to Elmina, where slaves were sold and traded. I went to the slave market, and I went through the door of no return. On my tour of the Elmina castle, where slaves were kept, I could still smell death nearly 600 years later. It's incredible. On top of one of the rooms where the people who are doing slave trade lived, he lives on top. And then the slaves are downstairs. They put a Bible quotation. What he was doing, is it in the Bible? They put a Bible quotation. Then I went to Auschwitz in Poland, where the Jews were exterminated, shot, and their hair used to make uniform for German soldiers. The hair of the women will be shaved, then they will gas the women, kill them. Then they will shave their hair. Then they use the hair to make uniform for German soldiers. It was in there, in that museum, that I saw this quote. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana, 1905. Those who do not remember history. I'm putting it on the table that if there is a drug dealer amongst your classmates, if there is a user amongst your classmates, he knew what happened to users before they died, those who are taking illicit substances. So why are you still doing it? Those who do not remember history. We repeat it. You must, as students of Federal University Lokoja, keep history at the back of your mind. Which student was that who didn't finish because they were foolish? Which student was that who was in charge of fashion and failed? Which student was that who joined a cult and didn't pass? Those who do not remember history would repeat it. Why do you want to repeat the history that is not good when there is good history? About 8 years ago, I walked into a pharmacy to buy some drugs for a small first aid kit in our home. I approached the counter to pay, but the cashier said I could not pay. He said the man at the back said I could not pay, that I should be going, that it's on the house. As I was still processing this information, a tall, dark, lanky man walked in from a back room and greeted me warmly, genuflecting. Puzzled, I greeted him back. Are you the one who said I should not pay for my drugs? Yes, he said. You were my teacher at Federal University of Agriculture, Makudi. I was your student in English for science students. As long as I run and own this pharmacy, you are free to walk in. You would never pay for whatever you buy. That was a truly humbling experience, but I stopped going to the pharmacy. I did not want to bankrupt the young man. I thought it was the proper thing to do because except he doesn't see me, he would not let me pay, and he's running a business. So you don't take advantage of people who are kind to you. My in-laws have arrived. They are the ones who have kept me like this at 64. So this gentleman didn't let me pay. He didn't allow me to pay for my drugs, and I stopped going there. I had always wanted to teach, and when I got the opportunity to prepare the way, I was intentional about it. This is a word we would return to again and again in this lecture. How intentional are you on the campus? Because the way you are, and your intentionality would impact your future. It will impact your career tomorrow. But let us return to that pharmacist and where we met and where I had taught him. I was 23 years old when I became his lecturer at the university. You heard me, 23. I did my youth service when I was about 20, 21, and I got married shortly after, had my first daughter at 22, and was already a guest lecturer at a university. Sounds crazy, right? Not all of this was planned, but some of it was intentional. On campus, I was a very skinny student, very hungry for knowledge. I attended my classes in the English department dedicatedly and took electives in literature and education. In our literature courses, we were made to read several books at a time. Ezekiel Mfalele's Poems from East Africa, Oket Bitek's book, Song of Lawino, Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart, Wole Soyinka's The Interpreters, The Metaphysical Poets, The Poetry of John Donne, and The Trials of Brother Jiro by Professor Wole Soyinka. I was at home in literature because I'm an avid reader. Half of my house in our country home is books. Half of our house in my house in Abuja is books. I buy books. It is my excess luggage when I travel. So I was wondering, why didn't I just study literature if I loved it so much? But I was already in English, and it was a choice. I enjoyed it thoroughly and made the most of it, reading through Syntactic Structures by Noam Chomsky, devouring semantics, synonyms and antonyms, tenses and sentence structures, and all of that. Again, I was intentional. I was in English. Stay there, enjoy it, make the most of it. On campus, there are too many students who complain. I don't like this course. This is not what I applied for. This was not what I wanted, and go on to fail that course by not paying attention. From campus to career, remember that designing the future you want is about being intentional. Time waits for no one. Procrastination is a thief of time. You wake up one day and you're already 40. I am telling you, it's not a joke. You just turn around and you're like, but I was just in the university. I'm already 40. Where did all those years go? What did I do with the time God gave me? But I digress. You see that English? It was not what I wanted. My first choice was law. I so badly wanted to be a lawyer, defend the poor, speak to injustice, stand for people's rights. But tried as I did, law would not give me a chance. My cousin is a lawyer. It's nice. I went to Congo campus where law was offered. I even dreamt of which hostel I would be inside. I saw the dean of law. I begged. I badgered. For one whole week, I was going to his office every day. He gave admission to a number of people whom I knew, and they didn't have as much scores as I did. And I got even angrier. But looking back, it could have been quota, because they say Kogi State has the highest number of students applying for law everywhere in the country. What is that? So that is why I didn't get it. All right? So I left angrily, and I called my mother. My mom, the late Mrs. Josephine Awawu Amodu, God bless her soul, advised that I get my second choice. Then we used to have second choice. And I should stop wasting time and make the best of it. She said, you're a woman, you can read law at another time. So I made the best of English. I gave it my all. See where it got me? I went and registered at English department, and they received me with open arms. With law, I may not have been where I am today. Sometimes what God has designed for you is different from what you're thinking. You need to stay. You need to stay with God at all times and be prayerful and be intentional. Don't procrastinate. Time waits for no one. I'm a woman of faith. I was young, but I also listened to my parents. But that is not all that happened on the campus that has shaped my career. I wanted to teach, and I would have taught when I left school, no matter what. Remember when I was teaching at Federal University Agriculture? I was a guest lecturer. They paid me 22 naira an hour, and I taught twice a week, 44 naira. It helped to buy fuel and toys for my first daughter. It was far from my home, near the airport, 25 minutes away, but I was intentional, and I went there every week to give my lectures. On campus in Zaria, I found out that a course was being offered. This was before I started teaching at the University of Agriculture. It was being offered in education, a certificated course. Once or twice in 2 weeks, it clashed with my major course of English, but I managed it. So I took that course for 3 years. I graduated English with a second-class upper from Abu Zaria, 1981. And I was also awarded simultaneously a graduate certificate in education with specialization in guidance and counseling. When I was being robed, I was talking to the top management staff who robed me. And I explained to them, do they have a French department? They said yes. When I was doing my master's in England, I found that there was a French department, but I couldn't attend. I was attending how to be a consultant. They give you a 2 months course on how to be a consultant, but you are doing your master's in something else. They teach you how to earn a living, how to be entrepreneurship, how to have entrepreneurship. Abu Zaria gave me certificate in education along with my degree because I was attending classes at so I was saying, if you have French in my school in the UK, the French department created a short course for students. French is international. Let some students who are not in the French department take some courses there, 3 months, every Saturday. Instead of wasting their time, they can go and learn French and get a certificate. VC, you might want to consider. I talked about how I listened to my parents. I'd like to pause a little bit and talk about parenthood. My parents were phenomenal at helping me design my future. The late Mr. Alfred Eugenia Abu, he was a teacher, an administrator, permanent secretary in Benue State when we were in Benue State. And he was a referee at St. Francis Utukpo. He loved football. He was an educationist. He was a proud Emmanuel son. He ensured I did my homework, encouraged me, opened his library, paid my fees. He was a lecturer at Abu Zaria, and he guided me. My mom, the late Mrs. Josephine Awawu Amodu, is of the Ibira extract here. My father is of the Igala extract. So easily I could become a governor. You see, I have both sides. And everybody from the Yagba side, they are Wokun side, they are all my friends, you see. So my mom was a disciplinarian, counselor, matron, midwife, my best confidant in the world. She encouraged me. And she said, go and take law. You don't have go and take English. You don't have the time. If you have the kind of parents I had, pray for them. Honor them. I would not be half the woman I am without my parents. If you don't, honor them anyway. I teach at Bingham University, even though having done it for nearly 10 years, I stopped last year. But my students know that I always say, honor your father and your mother so that your days will be long. Bingham University is not cheap. No university is cheap. Parents are selling cars, selling land to put you in school. Then you come late to class. Are you serious? Are you designing your future or you are designing your failure? When the Bible says honor your father and your mother so that your days will be long, the Al-Quran says the same thing. And you know what the Bible didn't say is honor your good parent. I don't think it's qualified. It just says honor your parents. So if your father was an armed robber, he don't put you for federal university. Now you won't come get mouth to talk, say, you this my stupid father. How dare you? You can pray that he stopped being an armed robber, but you don't chop armed robbery money. You don't have mouth to condemn your father. The Lord will strike you. If your mother is a prostitute, you don't have the liver. Because that prostitute money they chop, you can be begging God to stop her from doing and not follow their example. But you have no business not honoring them. If everybody they abuse your mama, now you go stand on June 12th. You not go do it first. Do you understand? You have no business. I have seen on the internet where children are divorcing their parents. My father, he doesn't give me time to talk. My mother doesn't give me time to talk. I'm removing myself from that family. Inside our house, Mr. and Mrs. Abu will say, okay, goodbye. Can you refund the money of your school fees before you start going? Because, I don't understand. What does that mean? While I agree that parents should listen to young people now, their ways are different from ours. I don't subscribe to the fact of one child deciding to be disrespectful of their parents. You have destroyed your future. When you honor your parents, it's a prayer. It's a blessing. Again, the Bible doesn't say honor your good father, honor your good mother. So if you don't have parents like the one I had, please pray for them. Honor them nonetheless. All right? Choose carefully when you choose a spouse. As I said, Mr. Thompson Abu is friend, encourager, father to my children, confidant, my backbone. Together, we have built our future. And so when you are a student and you decide to go and pick a drug dealer, you have destroyed your future. You want to marry drug dealer. You know how you used to say it. Now fine boy, get swag. Now you go chop. When you don't marry and where your future don't get destroyed, all the work your parents did will go to the gutter. And the security agencies will be looking for you because you are associated with a drug dealer or a thief, a Yahoo boy, a fraudster. The same way on the other side, because it's not only boys that are bad, there are some really bad girls. May God not allow us meet them. Make una face una school. That's the essence. All right? Faith makes a big difference in your life. Faith. Believe in something bigger than you. Like I said, I come from a Christian and Muslim background. You heard me say my uncle, Grand Kadi of Kogi State. My uncles are imams. I have imams in my family. My husband has imams. As North Central is, we have Christian and we're all mixed. And during Salah, I get meat from my cousins, and at Christmas, I send them cake. That's how to live. We are very confident that we understand religious tolerance in the North Central. Most people don't. We do. Faith helps you on campus to stay focused. It guides you. You are better in a faith-based organization than you are in a cult. I was already designing my future on campus when I took these decisions about taking an education course and getting a certificate in it, and I was barely 18 years old. I had already designed my second career, teaching. Only recently, like I mentioned, I taught at Bingham University as a visiting consultant for nearly 8 years, teaching international broadcasting to year 4, specialized reporting to year 2, and in the first semester, I taught introduction to mass communication in year 1. Once I retired in 2017 from active public service, I started teaching at Bingham University in 2018. This side of my career was already designed from campus. Remember, throughout my lecturing career, I was a staff of NTA where I was a full-time staff. And so this was what you people will now call your side hustle, right? But I did it well. And so universities have been looking for me. So Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Bingham University, Kefi. See where I've taught, and my papers are there. So when I went to BUK Kano, I'd already set the path. BUK Kano received me as a PhD student. Not only did I have the qualifications, I also had the experience in the academia. So some things you have to be intentional about. All right? Let me take you back to Bingham University, where I was a visiting lecturer for that long. My class was 8 a.m., twice a week. My residence was 1 hour away, but I arrived there each time by 10 minutes to 8 because I was disciplined and intentional. If I did not leave home on time, I would be late for my 2-hour class because that Nasarawa axis, the traffic is really bad. My first class had about 18 students out of 50 that registered for the course. I noted that these 18 students as the ones who were serious. My first class, some were late, they came in, and when it is 8:05, I shut my door. It doesn't matter who the student is. You are late. I'm coming 1 hour away. You live in campus. How are you late to my class? Because lessons must be taught, and you must learn that lesson well. So I read the Riot Act to the students. I told them, the next time I come into this class, everybody who does not come will get 5 marks removed from their CA. Everybody who is late will get 2 marks. And sometimes only 2 marks is what helps you pass your exam. I wasn't being mean. I was teaching discipline. The next class, my class was overfull. They heard the message and they showed up. What happens when you are late to class or when you do not come at all? You miss the class. The extra things the lecturer said, you are going to miss it. You are going to miss the Q&A where you learn from other students asking questions. Because you don't have complete notes, the exam will be much harder for you and your CAs will be very low. You are already designing a failed future. If you are on time, you listen well, you take notes, you engage, you become a star student. I can tell from tests, CAs, and scores in exams who is headed for distinction. And I have quite a number of students, and they've done extremely well. They made distinction. What is your distraction on campus? Let's talk about that for a while. And so when I enter my class and I see a student, and I say to them, why are you franking? If it's a girl, I say, is it a boy? You'll find another one. That one is not your own. Why are you disturbed by one foolish boy who is a student? Remove your eye. I don't know what the problem is, but I just guess sometimes they start to laugh. Then we go to church. Honor your father and your mother so that your days will be long. Focus, make sure you make the best use. Your parents sold the land. I tell my students, if it is fashion, I look at you. You are the best dressed girl or boy. You are more concerned about how you look. I'll tell you the story of my mom. High disciplinarian. And so when I was going to secondary school, she gave me a dress, which we call Mississippi, gathered here. And it's in Ankara with a short hand. And she will make 3, same color, same fabric. I'll say to my mom, everybody is going to think I have only one dress. She will say, how is it their business? I said, Mama, Daddy traveled. He bought me some clothes from where he went. He said it's for church. So I go to school with those 3 clothes. I wash them, I wear them. Everybody thought I had only one dress. It used to make me very annoyed. One day my mother sat me down and said, you know what? All these ones where they change clothes every day, they will fall by the wayside. If I give you only one dress, you won't be concerned. You are a beautiful girl. Go and face your book and pass. That's why I sent you to school, not for fashion. Pay attention. Those of you who are wearing cornrow, you don't know where they sell, what's that hair called? No, the one that the bone straight. Those of you who don't wear bone straight, you don't even know where they sell it. And you are wearing braids or you plaited your hair, they say you are mumu. My friend, you are on your way to a distinction. Let those wearing bone straight be wearing. Let them be wearing it, because let me tell you, as a student, you can't afford it. Some of it is 500,000 naira. Except you are doing wrongs, girl. Where do you get the money? Answer. Bone straight. Where? What concern you with bone straight? The one where you wear for your head. Anybody said they don't like and what concern them? Face your book. It's not about how you look. It's about what is inside here. They sent you to school, focus. It's when you are doing all those things that you will remember that you are a girl, then you wear a dress, or your breast is outside. Let me tell you where breasts take you. They take you to the bed. Your brain takes you up. That's it. All that nonsense is not going to help your government. You show up and everybody is looking at you. The whole of the stadium in Abuja know what you look like here. When you marry, what are you offering? Rubbish. You need to face your school. As for the boy who is wearing his jeans here, that's for prisoners in America because they take their belt. What do you think you are doing swagging? It's not going to help you. Is it parties that is your distraction? You belong to that exclusive club where you spend money to belong. What are you belonging to club for? Is that what they sent you to school for? You borrow money to belong to the club so that you can attend exclusive parties. I don't even know which club be which one. If you show me the name of the club, I think saying a soap or Omo. I didn't know. I was just a mumu girl. And when you come across as a mumu girl, the book will be shining here. You see? Is it internet, social media, which we didn't have? In fact, television closed at 4 p.m. And when it started closing late at around midnight, you will hear, it has closed, NTA has closed. There was no other place to go to. And even that one at 9 o'clock, my mother will say, come and go and sleep, so that tomorrow you will wash the plate and cook lunch for your father on time. Now, when you tell them to cook, they say they can buy from Mr. Biggs. When they marry, they say, cooking in call. You say, what about me? Can't the man also cook for me? Again, what is it? If you are a woman who knows how to cook like I do, you will keep your husband. You know, my husband is a fantastic cook. He can cook better stew and egusi and ogbono. The fact that he can cook, is that his duty? So sometimes when I'm pregnant, he will cook them. Other times I drive him from the kitchen so that my in-laws don't think I've turned him to, But he loves cooking and I love cooking. So I out-cook him so that he can go and sit down. Do you understand? Because in my culture, he's the woman who does the looking after. Do you get? Yesterday in the drama, they were saying they too, they can study politics. It's okay, study politics, but also study egusi now. Abi? All right. So we didn't have social media. But now you spend hours and hours of time wasting on social media. It's an addiction. You have to be very, once you start in the morning, you tell yourself now only 30 minutes. You go there 2.5 hours, you never do your homework. Social media is extremely dangerous if you have no discipline, if you have no control. You spend your time seeing whether Davido is marrying Chioma this week, or whether Mr. Easy has married Otedola's daughter. You are inside there finding whether Burna Boy is quarreling with somebody. It's okay. You can do it twice a week. My friend, na book then send you come here. Or these days, I go there to play. I'm highly disciplined. So when I go there, when it's time to leave it, I leave it. But here you have it, all kinds of crazy characters in there, spreading disinformation, misinformation, deep fake. Then they put it there that somebody has died and it's not true. 20,000 views. When the person can't no die now, go back and correct it. Nobody goes back there. You understand? So you have to be careful what you consume. When you are consuming it, please remember that body is what? Body is what? Clock it. That is not what they sent you to come and do in school. Don't go and join one gang where you are now a social media influencer. You can't even read your book. You are faking it out there, wearing false eyelash and pretending. The boys are also guilty. So if I'm talking about the girls, it doesn't mean that the boys are not guilty as well. So, is it drugs? What does drugs do for you? Waste your life. My certificate in education was in guidance and counseling. So I'm a counselor. You cannot design your life by doing drugs. Your future is not with drugs. If you are there now, it's better to quit. I had a student whose parents kept putting her in different universities. She went to Cyprus, she went abroad. She came back with no degree after 4 years because of drugs. Female. So don't let anybody tell you it will make you feel better. Go and drink tea, go to bed. You don't need those things. You will come back and meet the problem. It's not useful. The more you do it, the more your future is ruined. Campus life can be exciting. You meet new friends, you have freedom. Freedom comes with responsibility. Have a structure, go to school. Let them call you any name they like. You know why you are here. Don't do follow. Don't follow a friend who is trending so that you too can trend. Design the future you want, start now. 1, by studying hard. 2, passing your exams. Dress responsibly. Listen to your parents. Don't do drugs. Stay away from alcohol. Do not live on the internet. Respect authority. Vice Chancellor, his team, respect them. Be focused. Don't join a cult. Get a bulletproof future that nothing can touch. The time is now. Let's talk about me for a few minutes. Board of Savannah Center, which belongs to Professor Gambari. One day I gave a lecture and he said, you have to join my board. I said, I have to ask my husband. Then he called my husband. Eugenia has to join my board. So I'm on the board of Savannah Center. I'm a member of the National Media Complaints Commission, a national board for checking the media. I'm on the board of Trust TV, right? And on so many other boards. I have paid my dues. I read news for 17 years on the network service and became a household name. Did I plan it? No. But I threw hard work and discipline and dedication in everything I do. And I wear the cap of humility. Whatever you are, God gave you. Don't be too proud. Learn it from now. I am a columnist and I spent 10 years writing for Trust TV newspaper, Trust newspapers, 5 favorite books with Eugenia Abu. Writing is my first love. I've been writing a column now for Business Day for nearly 17 years. So on Friday, if you open Business Day, you will find my column there week after week. It takes dedication. It takes discipline to write a column. I already, unbeknownst to me, started designing my writing career on campus. Editor of the English literary magazine, ABUs, the English literary magazine, Kuka. I was the first editor. Look at that and see where that got me. MA in Communication Policy Studies from City University, London. MA in Creative Writing from Keele University in the UK. PhD in View from Kano. Consulting for UN, ILO, ECOWAS, and a sought-after compare. Author of 2 books, Don't Look at Me Like That and In the Blink of an Eye. Multimedia strategist, columnist, media consultant. I want you to know that these things were not accidental. You need to plan your life and you need to start now. How are you building the career you want? How? You need to be intentional about building that career. You need to have courage. How did I become a Chevening scholar where the British Council, I'm one of the oldest, sent me to England to go and study for 1 year, all expense paid, ticket paid, accommodation paid. I was in Makurdi, minding my business, when Association of Nigerian Authors came to Makurdi. At that time with Ken Saro-Wiwa, Professor Harry Garba, Professor Tao Uko, Mr. Audu Ogbe, former minister. It was in his house that Professor Wole Soyinka came and I met him for the first time. Then I walked up to one white man carrying a briefcase and I said, excuse me, where do you work? He said, British Council. I said, you know, I've always wanted to go to school. Can you help me? Myself and my husband can't afford to go to school in England, but I want to go to school. And he said, okay, fill this form and send it. 500 people applied. I went to Enugu, 50 of us did the exam, only 20 were picked and I was one of them. This man here gave me permission to go to that school. And because I know that I left him behind with 2 children, several years later, I had already designed, because I wanted to do my master's from when I was on campus. I made up my mind and I spoke to him. But my dad called him and said, Eugenia likes book. You are going to make a promise to me that if you marry her, you will let her go to school. My husband signed the agreement. 2 children later, he let me go to England to do that master's. When I was doing the master's, I remembered that I have my family back home. I didn't have any other house except the library. I had no social life. My room, the library. And so I graduated with a distinction, which belonged to my 2 children at the time and my husband, because they had made the sacrifice for me to go. You begin to build, will I do my master's from now, especially the 4th year students. There are opportunities, leverage on it. Like Professor Abel said, be courageous. If I wasn't courageous, would I have asked that white man? Would I have gotten the scholarship? I have an excellent relationship with the British Council today. When they have something doing, I'm the first, because they give you that scholarship to go. They expect you to come back to Nigeria and develop it. There are people who run away, but I came back home. And so when they have something doing in China, they give me a letter, they give me a ticket, up till today, many years later, right? So how are you building the career that you want? I want you to understand that you have to be intentional and you have to be productive. You have to be proactive. I want the students to stand up. Only students. I want to see you on your feet. Only students. Students on your feet, please. You know, I like music, and I know you all like music. We know all the songs that they are singing, Buga and all of that. How many of you know Nas? Put up your hand if you know Nas, the rapper. You know Nas, right? You're going to help me with this song. It's one of his most famous songs, and Nas is actually a Nigerian, but he lives in America. He's American now. And so you're going to go after me. I know I can be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. I know I can be where I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. Please sit down. I hope I've made a difference. My name is Eugenia Abu, and I'm now dropping the mic.
Yeah, man. So well. Wow. That is inspiring. Sit down. That was inspiring, ma. The Vice Chancellor, sir. What more can we say than to appreciate this wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together once again. The Vice Chancellor, sir. With your kind permission, we'll take questions and answers session. For the want of time, we'll take just 4, and 2 male and 2 females from the students, please. From the students. Please signify if you have question. Yes, 1. Please stand up. 2. Second female. We have 2. Please come up. You tell us your name, your department, your level, and straight to your question. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Omanyo Gabriela Ebiko, and I am a 400 level student from the Department of Mass Communication. I want to thank Mrs. Eugenia Abu for coming here and speaking to us. I really enjoyed your lecture, and I just want to ask, you said that you love reading and you studied English, and you were wondering why you didn't study literature instead. I want to know how you realized that broadcasting was what you really wanted to do.
Afternoon, everyone. Thank the Directorate of Advancement and Linkage for bringing the epitome of professionalism to our school. We thank you, sir, for all you done. So my question goes by this. According to Google Ma, you graduated from ABU Zaria in 1981. With all the lessons you've learned all through your life, how will you do it again? That is your own campus to career. Secondly, our VC cited leaving one career to another, right from our primary school days. We've been hearing, don't give up on your dream. At what point would you know that this dream is not working for you so you can change?
My name is Abu Usman.
Good afternoon, ma, and thank you very much for that eloquent lecture. I'm Lamidi Ohino-Ifat from the prestigious Department of Zoology, 400 level. My question goes thus, man. I would love you to help us elaborate on the issue of mentorship, because I was following your lectures and you hardly pitch about mentorship while speaking. So I want to know the role your mentor played in your life, and how did you discover that this mentor is the right mentor for you?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mercy Abarami. Thank you so much for the amazing session. My question is, you talked about being courageous and daring to dream. I want to ask, as students, do we just hang on the hope of opportunities, or are there practical steps to take to achieving dreams? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ma'am, you don't need to come back here. Okay, you're fine. Please, a round of applause for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor. Please permit me to take a bonus question. Let them be 5 instead of 4. Bonus, fastest fingers. You're not a student. How can I help you? The person has to be a student. Are you a student? Come.
My name is Ogenebre Alexander from the Department of Mass Communication. When you were lecturing us, you told us that your house was your library. So, like, I'm sure you do go to church and you have other social activities, like any other social activity. Like, how did you balance your academics with your religious activities and other little social activities? How did you balance it to have second class upper? Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Unjabo Ndiamaka Favor. I'm from the prestigious Department of English and Literary Studies. I came here because our lecturer told us that you studied English and you did broadcasting. So in my mind, because originally before I came to this university, I wanted to be a journalist, but just like you, I ended up in English department. So I just wanted to ask you a question. How was the switch? How were you able to move from English department to broadcasting? That's my question.
Okay. So I'll go to my grandfather department and I'll take her question first. How did I switch from English to broadcasting? It was an accident, by the way. I was ready to do what you do as an English student or an English graduate, which can be very limiting sometimes. So all you're thinking about is, well, I'll just go and be an English teacher in a school. And because I didn't mind teaching, I was ready for that. But one afternoon, listen very carefully. One afternoon, while I was waiting to go and do youth service. You know that time you wait. I think all students should learn that you can build your future from there. While you are waiting, don't waste your time sitting at home doing nothing. Maybe give yourself a break of 3 weeks from the hardness of being in the university. Go and learn sewing, go and learn something. While I was waiting, I was restless. Then on Radio Benway, they were running test transmission. And I said to my father, I'm hearing them running test transmission on one radio station. Please, I want to go and find out what they do there. So my father said, okay, go and find out. And he encouraged me and I went. And when I got there, I met this gentleman who was from FRCN. Because at that time, radio stations in the state didn't have the capacity. So they will ask FRCN to send somebody. The man was from Ibadan. And I went to him and I said, so this is also about courage. And when I say courage, you don't have to be rude or disrespectful. When you approach people, ask your question confidently without being rude, without looking like you know everything. I didn't know everything. I was very young. And I said to him, sir, I used to listen to your radio station. You may not meet him because at that time every door was open. You may meet somebody who will help you. And I said, sir, I want to come and also contribute my quota here. He said, what do you do? I said, I just graduated. He said, what quota do you have to contribute here? What do you even know about radio? I said, actually, I don't know anything. Have you been auditioned? I didn't know the meaning of the word. So I said, auditions. Has anybody trained you or tested your voice? I said, no, sir. They used to call my father Enefu. He spoke excellent English. I speak like him. And so I decided that I have not been auditioned, sir, but I would like to be auditioned, whatever that meant. So he allowed me into the studio and they tested my voice and they found it worthy. And they said, can you be coming to come and train for 1 week? I went. Then they asked me to start doing continuity announcer. It's not like now that you have graphics or voiceover. You have to physically go to the station to open it. At 5 a.m., I'm ready. The driver picks me. I go and open the station at 5 a.m. Discipline. Guess what? I worked in that station for 3 months. They didn't pay me. No, they didn't pay me. I was going to school. That station was my school for broadcasting. I didn't even know it then. But today they will say, Madam, how much are you going to pay us? I was going every day, thrice a week for 3 months before they invited me for camp. I went to camp in Abeokuta. I knew no one. When they came and I did it, so from the university year 1, year 2, year 3. So I was waiting to get into the university. I beg your pardon. I was like 16, 17. So every year I went back to Radio Benue and they gave me things to do. I was a county announcer. I was a request presenter. I was presenting children's program. I was learning. Today, when you give a young person opportunity, say how much? I was learning as a student to be a broadcaster. I didn't know I would end up as a broadcaster. It was what they call vacation job. Some days my father will give me pocket money for transport. I'll catch the bus and go. But early in the morning, the driver will pick me. When they came to the camp, they asked, who has broadcast experience? OGBC brought their car. My hand went up. My fellow copper, you have broadcast? I said, in 3 years, 3 months, I get 9 months experience. OGBC picked me from the camp, took me to their station, gave me a microphone, gave me a machine, and I was interviewing commissioners. I still didn't know that that was my profession. I was just, I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a this. I still didn't know. All right. But these things were God ordering my steps. And while I was doing all of that, I was polishing my craft. By the time I finished, there was no job anywhere. So they made me information officer, Ministry of Information. Remember, my father was in the civil service. So that's all we were looking at. He said to me, go and ask them if they have work for you. They applied, they gave me. I started working as information officer. Every day I will come to work, there will be magazine. Those magazines, we write them about how Benue State government is doing, and they all ended up under the staircase with rain beating it. So one day I went to my director. I said, sir, excuse me, sir, please, I don't know, this magazine we put under the staircase, nobody is reading them. He looked at me, precautious young lady. What do you know about magazine? I said, sir, I don't know whether we can do something else so for Benue State government to be published. I said, like what? I said, like a TV program. He said, TV program? I said, yes, sir. He said, okay, I'll think about it. Following week, he called me. That TV program, how are we going to do it? I said, sir, I don't know. I've never worked in TV. I was grade level 8. One grade level 8 officer talking to director. He said, go and write a proposal. I'll bring it. I don't even know how to. So I went and wrote a few things and brought. I said, sir, you see, we can talk to every government department, agriculture, the commissioner, this one. Because I had experience at OGBC. I'd already been interviewing commissioners. But I didn't even think they would give me. I was very young. So when I went back, he said, I've seen it. It's very nice. The first edition, who will we interview? I told him. He said, so who will produce it? I said, sir, I don't know. He said, how can you not know? Go and find how you will produce it. So now we don't have camera. How are we going to do it? I said, sir, you can ask NTA. Do you understand? So he said, we should ask NTA for camera. We've never told them that kind of thing. We are information ministry. I said, sir, we can try. Then he called me the following day and said, you go and ask them. I said, sir, I'm a grade level 8 officer. He said, go to the GM, take this letter. I saw the GM. The GM said to me, okay, yeah, we will allow you people use our studio and our camera as our contribution to Benue State government. Ha! My Oga said, very good. Now we have platform. So who will present it? I said, sir, I don't know. He said, Will you present? I said, no, I've only done radio. I've never done TV. He said, Mrs. Then I wasn't married. He said, Miss Amodu, I said, you are going to present it. I'm not even get cloth. I went and sold boo-boos and came. I did it for 3 months. At the end of 3 months, I went to him and said, sir, I think we should interview the governor. This girl, they Chris. We should interview governor for what? I said, sir, everybody says Mr. Aperaku is running. Mr. Aperaku says he's not running. Maybe if we interview him, this program is Benue State Government has a half hour. Let's interview him. So I was very, very young when I interviewed the governor. And when I asked the governor, sir, are you running? The governor said, if my people call me to run, I will run. One of my uncles still calls me Oya Ape, Ape's wife, from that interview. The whole world saw me interviewing governor. Guess what the GM of NTA Makudi did? He then called me one day and said, do you want to work in television? I've seen your work. I said, no, sir. I don't want to work in television. I'm very happy in the Ministry of Information. When I got home, my father said, one day you will marry. NTA is everywhere. Ministry of Information is always only in Makodi. If you marry and your husband decides he's going to Lagos, there's NTA there. If he goes to Warri, there's NTA there. You better take a federal job. I went back and said, sir, can I start? He said, yes. Where do you have opportunity? He said, we only have news. I said, Sammy, I don't know anything about news. I'm a program staff. I do children's program, women's program. He said, our only vacancy is in news. Another person would have left. I said, I'll take it. I'll learn everything. And I did. See? My switch was fairly accidental, but there were a few intentional things that God was putting in my heart. You can switch from English. You can. Talk to me after now. Let's see how you can switch. How did you balance your social activities with your school? I was the chief cook in my house. Nothing stopped it. Whether I had homework, I had book, I would cook. And if the food wasn't good, my mother would stone me with the pounded yam. Just to be sure that it was smooth. I would pound, I would make the soup. I loved cooking. She left it in my hands. It didn't prevent me from studying at midnight. It didn't prevent me from studying early morning. It's discipline. You can't say to your father, because I have exam, I'm not going to feed you. What's that? You can't say, let your mother clean the house when you are there because you have school. When you learn it that time, you learn it for all times. So I balance. In my marriage, with my work, I ensured that I had no social activities when my children were growing up. If you have a wedding, I'll dash you cloth or dash you money. I just would not be able to come. And then I'll take them to the park because my job was hard. So I'll take them to the park on a Monday when no children were there. After some time, my children started thinking there were no children. So I started breaking my own rule. On Saturday, I will go so that they will see other children. It was hard work, but you have to learn to balance. Make sure you are calling, have you eaten? Oga, you don't chop. Oga, they come. Oga, I get meeting. Keep the door open. Don't say, I am now executive director. I therefore cannot come home to do my duties. That's not possible. Learn to balance. Learn to also beg the man or beg the woman when your schedule is heavy. I was asking Professor Abel, how do you manage? He just laughed. You have to manage your wife, manage your husband. All right? So you can balance it. Okay. The other question was, you had somebody was asking me if I had a library in my house. No, it's when I grew older. My father had a big library. When I grew older, I also had my own library. I now have my own library. You studied zoology. I didn't mention mentorship. There you are. Mentorship is the biggest gift that anyone can give you. It's not every time you are mentored physically. Who is in your field? Who do you want to be like? There's no book about Oprah Winfrey that I have not read. And yet I'm successful already. But I don't believe that I've reached where I'm going. I read books about people who are doing well. In my field, what are they doing? All right? How do I pick my mentor? I look around. My bosses in my office became my mentors, especially the ones that were kind. You stayed close to them. Even the ones that seemed mean had a reason. You are late for a meeting. See, some of my staff will think I'm mean because I say you can't be late to a meeting. But I'm also training them. Get an offshore mentor. Get a physical mentor. You can pick from your lecturers. You can pick from your father's friends. You can pick from your mother. You can intern with somebody who is making the kind of dress you are wearing during the holiday. You are being mentored. You are getting a second hustle. All right? One of our finest correspondents, Godfrey Odu, foreign news correspondent, studied zoology. So if Godfrey Odu can switch to become foreign news correspondent and travel over 40 countries in the world, that lady from mass communication or from English can also switch. You can be whatever you want to be. All right? What are the practical steps I took? How do you dare to dream? The practical steps you took to achieving the dreams. I'm a reader. I love watching films, but I know when it is not time to watch films. I know when to pull back. I read a lot. Those are some of the practical steps. I learned in my life that short courses are useful. So even when NTA didn't send me on any course for a long time, I used to save money to go on a short course. I used to get crash where the course is free. I show up and learn something. Always be open to learning, hungry for knowledge, thirsty for knowledge. Don't say, I now know, I don't need to know anything else. Read over and beyond, all right? Some of the practical steps meant I read some things outside what my lecturer taught me. I gained more knowledge on the subject matter, okay? So be courageous and dare to dream. Career change. How do you know when this career is not working for you? What will you do different from 1981? You know, people ask me, what regrets do you have? For a long time, I used to say I should have written my first book. But I wrote my first book, all right, when I was already well known. So I stopped calling it a regret because God wanted me to write the book when people already knew me. So I don't have many regrets. What will I do differently? Maybe I would have done my PhD earlier. But you know what? Every time is God's time. Maybe if I'd done my PhD, I wouldn't have had my children. I may not have decided to stay longer because if I do my PhD, I had scholarships to go abroad. It's 3 years. Is it possible for me to leave this man to who now? No. How do you know when the career is not working for you? When you are knocking doors and it's not opening? When you are frustrated within that career? When there are other opportunities that God has made easier and you are insisting that it's the difficult one you are doing? It's not all about making money. It's about being happy. If you are not happy where you are making money, it's not your career. You can give yourself time. 5 years, I'll make the money. After that, let me go and be happy. There are jobs you do that may not pay you as well, but you are happier. I know somebody who had a mental breakdown. She came back from abroad, 2 master's degrees, and she wanted to teach in a secondary school. Her senior sister said, how can you have degree in finance and you want to go and teach in a secondary school? Our uncle works in a bank, he will give you a job. She had a boss wake up in the morning and say, you idiot, you are useless. She had a mental breakdown. Today she works in a school because she has peace. It's not about the money. It's about peace of mind and your happiness. So I have answered, how were you able to move from English to broadcasting? Okay, if your dream is not working, I've answered that. Is there anybody's question I've not answered? I've answered them all. Oh, I forgot to mention, I used to have students at the Federal University of Agriculture, the boys, who said, how can this small girl be teaching us? I was 23. And so when I walk into class, you know, I was a babe, they start whistling. Phew, 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 phew. I left them now. Some of the boys said, they said she married safe. And some of the boys came to tell me, some of the girls said, who is that her husband? Let's find him. Maybe if we befriend him, she will calm down. You know, students are very funny. And then I gave the first continuous assessment. They were like, I was teaching general studies and English for science students. The first continuous assessment I gave, they were putting, I stayed and then left the invigilators. They were putting, ma, we don't understand question number 2. I said, just whistle.
We can actually give her a standing ovation. Isn't that what we should do? Put those hands together one more time. Excellent delivery. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. You may be seated, please. It will now be the turn of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Gbenga Solomon Ibile. To the microphone, please. A round of applause as he comes.
just whistle. That was a rich lecture. You know, the power of experience, you cannot discountenance it. It is not something you get in a whole semester of lectures. What she has downloaded to us is a lifetime of knowledge that she has downloaded, something you cannot get in a classroom. And that was why I called it a masterclass. And we are grateful to you. I do not need to reiterate all those things that she said. One thing that I would like to just briefly interrogate. Ma, you said your father made your husband to sign an agreement. And he was there asking, where is the document? So it was verbal, gentleman's agreement, but he fulfilled the promise. And we are grateful to him. Yes. One remarkable thing about this lecture, Eugenia Abu delivered this lecture handwritten. Did you observe? Handwritten. It wasn't a seriously scripted lecture, but it was highly impactful. I think what that speaks to is this. If you ain't got it, you forget about it. Eh? But if you have it, even if you are called in your sleep, you do it. And that is what has played out. We are most grateful, ma. I'd like to appreciate our special guest, starting from the rector, Kogi Poly, Professor Sanusi Salihu Avidime, who is represented by Dr. Samuel Olo. Do we have you? Thank you very much for coming. Lieutenant Colonel M.G. Buhari, Commanding Officer, 12th Brigade. We are grateful, sir. Director of Public Relations and Protocol, Kogi Poly. Do we have you? Thank you, sir. Abu Yahya from Kogi State Senior Secondary School Education Board. We are grateful. Abdullahi Suleiman, High Court of Justice, Kogi State. We are grateful. Thank you, sir. Engineer Bernard Abudu, retired engineer from Dangote. Thank you. Alhaji Abubakar Haruna, the brother-in-law to our guest lecturer. Adejo Gidi, we are grateful, sir. Shehu Abu, manager, NISA PLC, he has stepped out. Olure Michelle. Thank you, ma. Thank you. Online guest, Dr. Joan Oji, the Oji without an R. She's your friend, ma? Excuse me? Joan Oji? Ah, okay. Ah, yes, I know. She was my student from Nasarawa State University. Yes, I part supervised her PhD. Yeah. Deborah, Dr. Deborah Anelechi, online. Joy Cecilia Atawodi. Dr. Emmanuel Umali Abba. Dr. Mary Umeiza. Dr. Meseko Oluwarotimi. Dr. Philip Vande. Dr. Olajide Oo. And Professor S.E. Atawodi. Thank you for joining us from where you are. We are most grateful. And so, I'd like to invite this person for a very symbolic reason. Olanrewaju Jonathan Badaki, a 200 level of mass communication. Where are you? Olanrewaju Jonathan Badaki, 200 level mass communication. Where are you? This is a student with a CGPA of 4.51. And so we have invited him to make a presentation to you, man. Yeah. You present it to her. You say something? Do you want to say something? Do you want to say something?
On behalf of the Federal University Lokoja, ma, we are grateful for this wonderful public lecture. It's so impactful and we are very grateful, ma.
Thank you very much. Please remain there. Aku Ojo Checkback Gift. Where are you? Aku Ojo Checkback Gift is the Assistant Secretary, Students Union Government from Mass Communication. You are going to make a presentation to her. Yeah. Please make this. You want to say something? No, you should say something.
I'm going to say something at the end of.
All right, okay. Please put your hands together for her. Yes. Let's have Esther Sembe or Duen. Is she there? Did I pronounce the name well? Esther, yes, please come. She is a 300 level student of mass communication with a CGPA of 4.11. You have something to say?
All right, Ma, I want to thank you so much. All right. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity you've given to us to attend this public lecture and to learn a lot. You know, this is what so many persons pay to attend, but then you've decided to make this open to all students and we are not taking it for granted. Thank you so much, Ma.
The three presenters, please quickly come so that you take picture with her. Please make it fast. Our special guest in the front row, please come for a group photograph with Mrs. Eugenia Abu. Please be mindful of the depression. Okay. The husband, sir. Please, sir. Yes. Directorate of Strategic Communication and Corporate Documentation. Please come with your FUL voice for presentation after this. Yeah, quickly.
Thank you, please. Please, can we calm down, please? Thank you. Ma, at the assumption of duty of our Vice Chancellor, he established Directorate of Strategic Communication and Corporate Documentation. And with his leadership, we've been able to this is the first, and we also have the second edition. We are presenting this to you.
Thank you very much. Please, principal officers, can you join the vice chancellor and our lecturer, please? Principal officers.
Our students, we talked about discipline. You can't be making noise when your vice chancellor is in situ. Whatever you need to do, do it quietly. That's how we know who you are. Help us. All these gifts vice chancellor is giving me. May I have my gift? We just forgot it. We'll send it to your officer. I also want to celebrate the media, the people who crafted me, who made me. NTA, they are here, and other media. Please clap for them. They are here. And my staff is behind the microphone. I'm very proud of you. Well done. Behind the camera, I'm very proud of you. Well done.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Advancement and linkages. Sir, a personal picture, just the two of you, yes. And after that, Director, Advancement and Linkages and his team, very quickly, please. Professor Abel, sir? No, Prof first. The Prof first. Oh dear. All right, members, please. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All other esteemed guests that I didn't mention, I'm so grateful. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. I see the NTA reporter. You want picture? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Music department, can you? Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to invite to the microphone to give vote of thanks on behalf of the university, Professor Jacqueline Badaki, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration. Please, a round of applause as she comes to the microphone, please.
Thank you very much. I will just adopt the protocol that has been excellently established. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, members of management, staff, and our dear students, I would like to sincerely, from the bottom of our hearts, to thank you, finding time in your very tight schedule to come and deliver this very rich, engaging, and very impactful lecture. It's not easy driving all the way from Abuja on a very good road to Lokoja. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would also like to very specially thank your spouse. Since morning, you've been telling us how supportive he is. Thank you, sir, for the support. That is why we have her here today. I want to thank the in-laws who have been a very strong supportive system. Thank you very much. And friends of the university, those from the Kogi State Polytechnic, the military, civil defense, they are always present in every of our lectures. Thank you very much. Ma, the tapestry of your professional life is weaved around discipline and courage. And you touch on so many, many vital points. I was very happy where I was sitting because the students are here listening. We know the vices that goes on in social media. So I was very happy you touched on that. Please, ma, don't get tired of us. Like the Vice Chancellor said earlier today, this is just the beginning of a very long life journey. So we will keep knocking at your door for the benefits of our students, and not just the students, ma, even the staff. Thank you so very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. And I think if the Vice Chancellor permits, I will tell the audience that Mommy has adopted Federal University Lokoja as her baby. And so we're looking forward to all the beautiful things that mothers do for their babies. A quick announcement, internal members of council, deans and directors, and our VVIPs in front will be joining the Vice Chancellor. This is a strict invitation, and it has to be honored. Provost, deans, and directors, internal members of the governing council of this university, and our VVIPs will join the Vice Chancellor once he exits the hall. He will take you wherever, but you're safe in his hands. Ladies and gentlemen, an interview and a couple of other activities will be happening outside the door, but we'll be rising now for the national anthem and the university anthem. The national anthem, please. University anthem.
Sorry, sir. Yeah. That's why we needed the others from the table. I came here earlier.
The east, the west, and south. You have withstand the shine. Patrons and noise, in truth and industry. Your
FUL,
Built
built differently, always ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please remain standing as the procession, if you like. The Vice Chancellor will lead our lecturer through the right wing of the hall, where he will be interviewed by our media.